Hi guys, we are on section 10.5, which means we are starting the metric system. So in your notes, I would suggest that you put this just like I did. So I have columns there, and in each column you have a big letter. And these are the different units that they use in the metric system. Just like we have feet and inches and miles that we convert back and forth between, this is what the metric system uses. And underneath it, if you can see, we have under the K, kilo, hecto, deca. Our middle one there with our MLG, that is our base units. So the M stands for meter, the L stands for liter, and the G is for gram. On the other side, I have it under my D, deci, centi, and then milli. We're going to be practicing our conversions with these units of measurement, and I promise, this is actually easier than it is to convert customary units. Because all we're doing with the metric system is moving our decimal. I do have in my notes there that you can see the big is all the way to my left. My kilo is my largest unit, and my milli is my smallest unit, and they go in descending order. So that means kilo is the biggest, hecto is the second biggest, and so on and so forth. So what I'd like you to do is to copy down this problem that you see here in red. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be converting our 247 milligrams into centigrams. Well, you might be asking, with customary units, you have to tell me how many centigrams are in 1 milligram. But with metric, you don't need that. On your columns here, I want you to put your finger on where it says milli, because that's where we are right now, right? We have 247 milligrams. So put your finger on milligrams. So what we're going to do is, because I'm going to go from milligrams into centigrams, I'm going to start at my milligrams, and I'm going to count how many jumps I make until I get to my centigrams, or my centi. Ready? So I'm at milli, and I want to stop at centi, and I see my centi is right here. So how many jumps in between my milli and my centi? Ready? 1. Oh, that was a lot. So between my milli and my centi, I jumped 1 time to the left. So my decimal in my 247 milligrams is going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to take my decimal, which I know lives behind every whole number, and I'm going to make it jump 1 place value to the left. So that means my decimal is now going to live in between my 4 and my 7. That there are 24 and 7 centigrams in 247 milligrams. Those are equal. So now I'm going to keep with my 247 milligrams, but now I want to convert them into decigrams. So just as we did before, I'm starting with milligrams, so I'm going to put my finger on milligrams. And I'm going to bump over and count the bumps until I get to decigrams, which is my D. So let's count. 1, 2. I need to bump my decimal 2 place values, but in which direction? What direction did my hand move to go from my millimeter to my decimeter. Absolutely, I move it left. 2 place values. 1, 2. 247 milligrams is equal to 2 47/100 decigrams. Let's try this one more time. I'm still going to be using my 247 milligrams. But now we're going to be converting the milligrams into grams. So step 1, put your finger on the milligram. So here's my milligram. I'm going to count the bumps, or the place value jumps, until I get to the gram section. And I see grams is right here. That's my base unit. There's my G. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to count. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There's my grams. So to go from milligrams to grams, I need to bump my invisible decimal 3 place values to the left in order to turn it into grams. 247 thousandths of a gram. Let's try another one. So here's our new problem. We're going to be converting 2 3/10 liters into hectoliters, centiliters, kiloliters, and decaliters. So just as I did on our last problem, I'm going to put my finger on the liter because that's what I'm starting with, is a liter. So I'm on my liter. And I want to change my liter into hectoliter. So I'm going to count the number of place value jumps until I get to my hectoliter. 1, 2. So I take my decimal and I bump it 2 place values to the left. 1, 2. Of course I fill it with a 0. So that means my answer is 23,000 hectoliters. I'm going to keep my same 2 3/10 liters, but now I'm going to convert that into centiliters. Here's my centiliters here. So I count the place value jumps. 1, 2. 2 place value jumps. But this time, guys, we are going to the right. 1, 2, and then I fill it with a 0. So that means I have 230 centiliters, are the same as 2 3/10 liters. Still, 2 3/10 liters. By this time, guys, if you think you've got it, try it on your own. See how you do. And be excited to find out. You can do it for kiloliters and decaliters. And I'm going to move until I get to my kiloliter. So I'm going to bump 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. Starting at my decimal, 1, 2, 3 bumps to the left. Fill it with zeros. Gives me an answer of 23/10,000 kiloliters.